Am I the a hole for siding with my half-sister by saying if I were in her shoes, I don't think I'd want anything to do with Dad either? I'll try to explain this as clearly as I can, though emotions are high and it's hard to stay neutral. I'm 18 years old, the youngest in my family. I have four full siblings, ages 23, 25, 26, and 28. We all grew up together in what, on the surface, looked like a pretty average family. Except, there's someone who was missing from the very beginning. Our half-sister. She's 33 now, and none of us really knew her. We grew up hearing vague mentions, soft silences, or uncomfortable changes in subject when her name came up. She was born when my dad was with another woman before he met my mom. When she was about 4, my dad married my mom. And that was the last time he saw her, because her mom kidnapped her and fled the country. Apparently, there was a huge mess around that time. Legal action, police involvement, even a lawyer or two. My dad did try for a few months. That's what I've been told. But after that, he just stopped. He didn't hire a private investigator. He didn't launch campaigns or speak to the media. He didn't even mark her birthdays publicly or do anything that kept her name alive in any kind of search. He just moved on. Married my mom. Had more kids. Built a life without her. But not everyone let go. My dad's siblings, my aunts and uncles, never fully accepted his decision to stop looking. They respected his grief, I think, but couldn't understand how he could go so numb. They quietly kept looking. For decades. Nearly 30 years later, they finally found her through social media. She had resurfaced online, living her life. She had changed her name. She had gone to school. She had a career. She wasn't lost anymore. And, it turns out, she had found us first. She had seen pictures, posts, old family photos. She knew what we looked like, what our birthdays were, what schools we'd gone to. But what she didn't find was any sign that my dad had been looking for her. There were no posts saying, "I miss you." No news articles. No updates. Just silence. So when my aunts and uncles finally messaged her, hoping to reconnect, her answer was clear and sharp. "Please respect my wishes and leave me alone. I do not want contact with my biological father or his family." That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. My siblings took it hard, especially my 26-year-old sister. She had grown up fantasizing about having a big sister, someone wiser, someone to bond with. I think she filled in the blanks with fairy tales about reunions and long conversations over coffee, catching up on years of lost memories. When the rejection came, she felt like she'd been abandoned by someone she'd never even met. Betrayed, even. My mom was furious too. She took it personally, like the rejection was about us, not about what happened to our half-sister. The family started having these drawn-out rants every time we were all together. They'd circle up, voices getting louder, talking about how ungrateful she was, how cruel, how she was throwing away a perfectly good family. But I just couldn't agree. I didn't say anything for a while. I just listened and felt this quiet heaviness growing in me. I imagined what it must have been like to grow up thinking your dad didn't care enough to keep looking. To wonder every year on your birthday if he thought about you. And then, years later, to finally find him, only to see he had a new family, a happy life, and had apparently moved on without you. I don't know if I could forgive that either. So, the other week, during one of their bitching fests as I've started calling them, I finally spoke up. I mean, if I were her, I don't think I'd want anything to do with Dad either. The silence was immediate. You could hear a pin drop. Everyone turned to look at me like I had just punched a baby. My sister's face twisted in disbelief. "Are you serious right now?" "I'm just saying," I replied a little shakily, "that I can understand her side of it. If I'd been taken away and nobody kept trying to find me, I think that would really mess me up. She doesn't owe us anything." And just like that, I became the traitor. They accused me of being disloyal, of siding with someone who didn't want to be part of this family. They said I should stand with the people who have always been there for me, not the stranger who wants nothing to do with us. My mom told me I had no idea what it was like back then, that I was too young to understand how much pain my dad went through. My siblings piled on, saying I should be supporting them, not her. Since then, things have been tense. They keep bringing it up. Little passive-aggressive comments. Awkward silences when I walk into the room. My sister won't talk to me unless she has to, and when she does, it's cold and clipped. I try to avoid family gatherings altogether now because I know what's waiting for me. More judgment, more accusations, more guilt. But deep down, I still feel like I said the right thing. I didn't scream it. I didn't call my dad a monster. I just empathized with someone who's been through a lot. And somehow, that makes me the villain in my own home. So, am I the a-hole for saying if I were in my half-sister's shoes, I probably wouldn't want anything to do with Dad either? Because, honestly, I don't think I am. But my whole family seems convinced otherwise.